What if the reason abundance keeps missing your life is because it never found the right door to walk through? Not the emotional door, not the mental one, but the actual door, the one you pass through every morning without a second thought. We spend so much of our lives trying to unlock financial success by grinding harder, budgeting better, or hoping the next opportunity finally sticks. But here's a truth most people never even consider. Your home might be rejecting the very luck you're begging to receive. It's not about whether you deserve more. It's about whether your space is energetically allowing more. Because the front door isn't just where people enter. It's where energy decides whether to stay or leave. And if that space is misaligned, ignored, or energetically blocked, it won't matter how hard you work. Your efforts will feel like swimming upstream in a river that was meant to carry you forward. In today's video, we're not just talking about entrances. We're talking about gateways of fortune, the kinds that silently shape your opportunities, your flow, and your future. Because the truth is, you might be doing everything right inside your life. But if the threshold to that life is wrong, then nothing gets in and nothing moves forward. Let's change that, starting now. Section 1. Wash the entrance of your home with this and say goodbye to poverty. If energy can't walk in with you, it won't walk in at all. And maybe, just maybe, the reason life feels like it's always almost working, but never quite landing, is because your entrance is quietly saying no when you think it's open. You see, most people believe effort equals outcome. Work harder, get more, stay longer, earn better. But there's an invisible architecture that shapes that equation, and it starts the moment your foot crosses your own threshold. Your front entrance isn't just a boundary line between outside and inside. It's a filter, a gatekeeper, and an amplifier. It decides not only what enters your space, but what kind of energy you're inviting into your life. And yet, how often do we treat that space like a dumping ground? A place for shoes that don't have a home, for bags that never quite get unpacked, for dust that gathers not because we're lazy, but because we've stopped noticing it. But Feng Shui, real Feng Shui, is about noticing what most people never think to look at. The entrance is the mouth of Qi, and if that mouth is clogged, closed, or energetically confused, then the universe has no clean way to speak to you. Think about it. Have you ever cleaned your front door not just with soap and water, but with intention? Have you ever stopped, not to scrub away dirt, but to clear the memory of what's been carried in and out of your life day after day without pause? Because grime isn't always about mud. Sometimes it's about emotional residue, the quiet weight of past arguments, financial anxiety, or tension from a phone call you took on your way out but never fully let go of. That energy stays. It clings to corners, to doormats, to handles. And over time, it builds a layer so subtle you can't see it, but you feel it. You feel it in the way good things seem to hesitate before entering. You feel it in the way opportunities knock, but faintly. When your doorway becomes energetically dull, your life does too. And this is where the ritual of cleansing becomes something more than a habit. It becomes a restoration, a reset. Washing your entrance with salt water or lemon-infused water isn't about tradition. It's about transformation. It's the energetic equivalent of unplugging your Wi-Fi router when the signal gets weak. Not to break it, but to help it reboot, because that's what your entrance needs. An intentional pause, a clearing, a return to neutral so it can open up again. And you don't need expensive tools or sacred chants. What you need is attention, presence, a clean bowl of water, a pinch of coarse salt, a slice of lemon if you like, a cloth you are willing to retire afterward, and most importantly, a moment to acknowledge that this space matters, that it holds history, that it absorbs more than dust, that it remembers how you've been treating your life, As you clean, you're not just wiping a surface, you're speaking to the space. You're saying, I see you, I haven't forgotten. I'm ready to open again. And this quiet declaration carries more power than you think. You don't need to believe in magic, but you do need to believe in patterns. Because when you start treating your doorway as the beginning, not just a transition, you start reprogramming what follows. And if you've ever asked yourself why things feel heavy the moment you step through the door, maybe it's because the space you've been walking through has been whispering back everything you've been trying to ignore. Sometimes it's not about what's happening inside your home. Sometimes the problem is at the very edge, where you welcome the world. So ask yourself, when was the last time you cleaned that edge? Not because it was dirty, but because it felt stuck. When was the last time you invited new energy in? Not through a new dish purchase, not through another self-help book, but through a cloth and a quiet shift in attention. And if you've never done that, does it surprise you that abundance hasn't fully arrived yet? Because abundance is not loud. It doesn't kick down doors. It looks for signs that it's welcome. And the first sign is a clean, intentional entrance. You don't need to understand the science of energy to feel the shift when your space is respected again. Just like a guest feels the difference between a rushed welcome and a warm one, so does prosperity. And when that space is finally cleared, when it smells fresh, when it looks cared for, when it feels seen, you might notice something subtle but powerful. A lightness in your chest, a small, unexpected call, a smoothness to your next few days. And it won't be because you changed your job. It'll be because you changed the energy that meets you before your job ever begins. So if everything inside your home looks okay, but something still feels blocked, don't forget to check the space between who you were this morning and who you're becoming tonight. Because that space might still be holding yesterday's weight. And until that weight is cleared, no amount of positive thinking can make room for what's truly next. Section 2, prosperity powder. Big shifts often come in small pouches, and the ones we overlook tend to be the ones we need the most. If you've ever walked through your home and felt like something was just slightly off, not wrong exactly, but unfinished, then perhaps it's not the furniture, the lighting, or even the layout. Perhaps it's the tone of your space, the frequency it quietly hums in, that creates the sense of flow, or the lack of it. And while many people focus on rearranging their rooms or upgrading their decor, what they don't realize is that energy doesn't always respond to big, loud gestures. It often listens to what's subtle, what's consistent, what's intentional. That's why today's practice, the concept of a prosperity powder, might seem too simple to matter, but that's precisely where its power lives. Because when your space contains even a small item that's been prepared with focus and placed with meaning, it begins to shift the environment around it in ways that most people won't see, but you'll start to feel. What if abundance isn't always about opening a door wide, but about placing the right signal near the doorway that tells the universe, it's safe to enter here? That's exactly what this ritual does. Cinnamon and sugar, two ingredients you've probably walked past in your kitchen 1,000 times without a second thought, become something else entirely when brought together. Not for flavor, but for frequency. Cinnamon in Feng Shui represents warmth and motion. It stirs, it awakens. It activates the kind of forward energy that many homes quietly lack. Sugar, on the other hand, softens the edges. It makes the space sweeter, not in taste, but in tone. When combined, these two elements begin to whisper a new message into your environment. That flow is welcome, that kindness is present, that luck has a place to land. And unlike incense, candles, or wind chimes, this little pouch doesn't need to be seen, heard, or even touched again. Its power is silent, and in that silence, it speaks the loudest. Now imagine this, not as theory, but in practice. A woman I once worked with, let's call her Elise, was always on the brink of success. She worked hard, had clients who liked her, in a beautiful home, but something just wouldn't click. She told me, "I always feel like good things almost happen, but then it's like they freeze in midair." I didn't tell her to buy anything new. I told her to mix cinnamon and sugar into a soft pouch and place it beneath the plant stand near her entryway. No candles, no rituals, just one small adjustment. 1 week later, she received a call back from a client she had been chasing for months. Was it the pouch? Was it timing? Possibly both. But what changed, in her own words, was the feeling. She started walking into her house and smiling because it smelled subtly like hope. And here's the point. When your environment feels like it believes in you, you begin to act like someone worth believing in. Not because of superstition, but because of alignment. So let's look at the space around your entrance for a moment. Is it designed to support possibility or just habit? Does it contain anything that speaks to movement, sweetness, invitation? Or is it purely functional? A place for dropping bags and kicking off shoes without a second thought. Most people decorate their entrance for others, for curb appeal or seasonal charm, but few design it for energy. This pouch, though small, becomes a message. Not for anyone else, not for show, but for your space and for the invisible patterns shaping your life from the background. And unlike flashy upgrades or home trends that quickly fade, this practice remains grounded in something older than style, intention. And maybe that's what most homes are missing. Not more things, not better furniture, but more presence, more choices made with clarity. Because clarity changes what comes next. You don't need to hang the pouch on a wall or announce it to guests. You can hide it behind the shoe cabinet, inside a drawer, beneath a potted plant, or even inside the base of a decorative bowl. It's not where you put it that matters, it's what it holds. A message, a quiet broadcast to your environment that says, this home holds space for good to enter, and when it does, it will be received with readiness. But how many of us truly live that way? How many of us create physical cues in our space that affirm our willingness to receive? Not just in our minds, but in our environment. And if we don't, can we really say we've opened the door to fortune? Some might argue it's just cinnamon, just sugar. But if your body can be deeply affected by scent, by texture, by light, why would energy be any different? The subconscious picks up on patterns you don't even register. And when a space begins to reflect your desire to thrive, not in loud, obvious ways, but in subtle, sincere ones, your actions shift to match it. You start answering emails quicker. You show up to calls with more presence. You feel slightly more hopeful. And that small shift becomes the root of larger change. But let's flip this around for a moment. If you don't have anything by your door that signals prosperity, what is the space currently signaling? Is it sending a message of neutrality, of neglect, or worse, of energetic shutdown? Because in the language of Feng Shui, silence isn't an absence. It's presence of a different kind. An entrance with no intention still carries weight. It just doesn't carry your intention. So then the question becomes, are you allowing your space to send random signals? Or are you guiding it gently, quietly, toward the kind of flow you want to live in? There's something powerful about doing something small on purpose. It goes against the common narrative that transformation must be huge to matter. But what if the bigness of the result isn't in the action, but in the consistency of attention behind it? This prosperity pouch is not a magic fix. It's a symbol, one you create with your own hands, using ingredients that are likely already in your kitchen. And that's what makes it powerful. Because unlike objects bought from a store, this pouch is born from your presence, your clarity, your readiness. And every time you pass by it, even if you forget it's there, your body will remember. The space will remember. And in the memory, a new pattern begins. So let's come back to you. If your life has been feeling like it's stuck in pause mode, if your efforts are strong but your outcomes feel inconsistent, what's the space at your threshold currently saying about your readiness to receive? If energy walked up to your door, would it know it was welcome? Would it feel the warmth of invitation or the chill of a neutral, unnoticed corner? Because big shifts don't always knock loudly. Sometimes they enter quietly if the space makes room for them. And this pouch, this little blend of heat and sweetness, is the space you give for something better to begin. Not because the pouch itself holds power, but because you do. And when that power is anchored in a visible symbol placed intentionally in your space, then energy has something to respond to. And once energy starts responding, everything begins to change. Not all at once, not like fireworks, but like morning light that creeps in gently until suddenly the whole room is bright and you didn't even notice the exact moment it arrived. Section 3, the wealth-reflecting mirror ritual. Some mirrors reflect more than your face. They reflect your future. And perhaps what's being sent back to you each day isn't just your appearance, but the unspoken energy your home has been quietly projecting and receiving. If the cinnamon and sugar in the prosperity pouch whispered a soft welcome into your space, the mirror is something different entirely. It doesn't whisper, it repeats, it reinforces, it confirms. Because a mirror doesn't filter, doesn't edit, doesn't hesitate. It simply takes in what it sees and sends it back, stronger. And that's where its quiet influence becomes either an amplifier of harmony or a multiplier of chaos. What's more subtle than most people realize is that in Feng Shui, mirrors aren't used to decorate or to trick the eye into thinking a room is larger. They're used to reflect energy, not in a poetic sense, but in a literal one. Energy, like light, moves in patterns. It bounces, it lands, it repeats. And when a mirror captures a part of your home, it's not just recording a scene. It's locking that energetic snapshot into motion. If that snapshot is clean, calm, open, and sunlit, then you've created a circuit that doubles clarity. If it's cluttered, rushed, or emotionally heavy, then that very weight gets broadcast across the space over and over again. So ask yourself, what does your mirror see each day? What does it multiply? Does it reflect plants, sunlight, peaceful movement? Or does it reflect the door to a storage room, the mess you've been meaning to handle, or the hallway where stress always seems to gather? The mirror becomes your home's memory loop, not just of how you live, but of how you feel when you live that way. And this becomes especially important near your entrance, because the mirror at your entry point isn't just reflecting your house, it's setting the tone for your return. If the first thing you see upon entering is your own image facing back at you in tension or rush or fatigue, then that moment gets reinforced, anchored deeper into the space and deeper into your habits. That's why Feng Shui masters have long emphasized mirror placement not as an aesthetic detail, but as a core energetic decision. A round mirror, when placed just to the left or right of your front door, not directly opposite, creates a soft reflection zone. One that doesn't bounce energy back out, but gently receives it, softens it, and sends it deeper into the home. Think of it like the difference between speaking into a loudspeaker and whispering into a tuning fork. One blasts out whatever's said, the other carries resonance. And resonance is what you want when it comes to welcoming wealth, peace, and clarity. A mirror facing your front door head-on, by contrast, can do the opposite. It's like catching a breeze in a hallway only to slam it back out again. The energy that would have entered gets deflected. So even though your door is open, even though your intentions are clear, what you're inviting can't land, because the reflection tells it, not here, not yet. This is where most people get it wrong, not because they don't care, but because they never knew a mirror could say so much without ever speaking. And if we're honest, how many of us have chosen a mirror based solely on its frame or how well it fits a wall, without ever once asking, what will this mirror reflect every day? What will it reinforce? If mirrors are feedback loops, then whatever image lives in that loop becomes more than background. It becomes blueprint. Now think about this practically. You don't need a giant mirror. A small round one, even the size of a dinner plate when cleaned properly and placed with presence, becomes enough. Before you hang it, take a soft cloth, dampen it with rose water or a few drops of orange peel essential oil, and gently clean its surface. Not for shine, but for clarity. Because you're not just removing fingerprints. You're erasing memory. You're making room for a new pattern to form. You're telling your space, what was doesn't have to continue. And in the moment your hand makes that circular motion across the glass, the mirror begins again. This is not performance. This is presence. And when your fingertips move slowly over that surface, as if you were speaking to it in silence, what you're actually doing is resetting the signal that will soon reflect your world. Before placing it, you might softly think or even whisper a simple phrase, not as a chant, not as a ritual, but as an intention. I reflect light, I reflect clarity, I reflect peace. These aren't magic words, they're personal truths. And when said sincerely, they become encoded into the energy that the mirror begins to hold. Once the mirror is hung, what follows is not a transformation in decor, but in direction, because from that day forward, the mirror becomes an energetic compass. If it reflects light, your space feels brighter. If it reflects calm, your actions begin to soften. And over time, you begin to feel the shift in ways that are hard to measure but impossible to ignore. You walk into your home and feel welcomed, not jarred. You stand by your entryway and feel centered, not scattered. And maybe most importantly, you begin to feel that your environment is no longer just a container, but a participant. A mirror doesn't just show what's in front of it. It shapes how you move around what it sees. And yet, what happens if the mirror you're using is cracked or inherited from a space where there was grief, conflict, or prolonged stress? This is the part few people consider. Mirrors, like water, hold memory. They record not just the visual, but the emotional atmosphere of wherever they've lived. If you bring that into your space without resetting it, you may be inviting not just a reflection, but a residual loop of what came before. A mirror from a stressful office, a home where love was absent, or a store filled with transactional energy, each one carries a signature. And without clearing that, it continues to echo. So before you ever place a mirror in your space, ask yourself, what story has this mirror already told? And is that a story I want to keep amplifying? Because in this practice, new beginnings don't require new things. They require new attention. Mirrors don't create the energy. They repeat it. And the question becomes, what loop are you unconsciously playing in your life simply because a reflective surface never got reprogrammed? Even once the mirror is in place, the practice doesn't stop. Maintenance isn't just about cleaning fingerprints. It's about noticing when the light in your life dims and wondering if the mirror is still aligned with what you want it to reflect. Have the plants moved? Has clutter grown in its gaze? Has it become a reflection of effort or avoidance? When a mirror falls out of alignment with your intention, it becomes neutral at best and disruptive at worst. But when it stays in harmony with light, clarity, and quiet flow, it becomes an anchor. And that anchor doesn't need attention to work. It simply does. You'll start noticing that conversations at the doorway feel lighter, that you pause to breathe when walking past the reflection, That you notice the quality of light in your entryway, not just with your eyes, but with your body. And that's how you'll know the mirror has done its job, not by standing out, but by helping the space settle into something clearer. So if everything in your life seems to be moving, but you still feel like you're spinning in place, perhaps it's not the movement that's the problem. Perhaps it's the reflection. And maybe, just maybe, what you need isn't more motion, but a better mirror. One that doesn't reflect your exhaustion, your clutter, your hesitation, but your light, your alignment, your welcome. Because when that reflection becomes your reality, the home stops being a structure. It becomes a story. And the mirror, quiet, round, and clean, is how that story gets told back to you every single day. Without words, without sound, just light coming home. Section 4, the salt purification ritual. You clean your floors. Why not your energy? It sounds simple, maybe even rhetorical. But pause and consider that question for a moment. Have you ever stopped to think about the weight you track into your home that doesn't show up as dirt? We vacuum carpets, wipe countertops, mop tiles, all while believing that if something looks clean, it must feel clean. But your nervous system knows better. It can sense what your eyes no longer register: the heaviness in a hallway after an argument, the way the air seems to still carry the tension of yesterday's phone call, the subtle pressure that builds after a long week when nothing really happened, but everything feels off. Salt doesn't clean your home the way a disinfectant does. It cleans the imprint of energy. It absorbs the emotional residue your words didn't release, the unspoken thoughts that linger in the air, the unfinished endings that live in the corners of your entryway. That's why in Feng Shui, salt is known not for its flavor, but for its filtration. It is a mineral that knows how to bind, absorb, and neutralize. It doesn't need to be loud, beautiful, or complex. It just needs to be present and respected. And this brings us to the salt purification ritual, which isn't about performance or belief. It's about creating an intentional pause in your home's energetic rhythm. If the prosperity pouch was about gentle invitation and the mirror about reflection, this ritual is about release. Because until you clear out what's old, what's new can't find a place to land. And no matter how beautiful your space looks on the surface, if the energetic undercurrent is full of tension, chaos, or fatigue, your body will register it every single time you walk in, even if your mind tries to dismiss it. So how do we begin? Not with a complicated ceremony, but with a bowl of clean water, a handful of coarse salt, and a cloth you're willing to retire. Mix the salt into the water slowly, not like you're rushing through a chore, but like you're waking something up. Salt in this moment is not just salt, it's memory. It's centuries of people using the Earth's most basic elements to restore balance when something inside felt misaligned. And here's the real point of entry for this ritual. You're not just wiping surfaces, you're reopening a flow. You're unblocking a channel that life may have been trying to use to bring you peace, connection, or clarity, but couldn't because the entry point was too crowded with yesterday. So as your hand moves with the cloth across the top of the door, the handle, the baseboard, the inside frame, don't think about cleaning, think about clearing. Clearing the tension you didn't even know you were carrying. Clearing the friction from the conversation that ended in silence. Clearing the anxiety from that week when everything felt like too much. And as you move, you might find yourself taking a deeper breath. Not because someone told you to, but because your body senses the shift. You're no longer just cleaning, you're allowing. You're making space for something lighter to finally return. And here's where things get even more real, because we live in a culture that teaches us to ignore heaviness unless it breaks. Unless we collapse, snap, or shut down, we rarely give ourselves permission to reset. But your home is smarter than that. It gives you subtle signals long before a crisis arrives. The heaviness you feel when you get home at night but can't quite explain. The sudden urge to go straight to your room and shut the door. The low-level irritability that spikes in certain corners. All of those are signs that your space isn't holding energy the way it's meant to. Not because something is wrong, but because nothing has been released. And that's what salt is here to do. Quietly, without fanfare, without force. It doesn't judge the energy, it simply absorbs it. And that's why it works. When you finish wiping, don't keep the cloth. If it looks frayed, discolored, or tired, let it go. Not because it's dirty, but because its job is done. Its fibers have absorbed what your words could not. Rinse the salt water outside if you can, at the base of a tree, into the soil, or even down an outdoor drain. Let the earth reclaim what the house no longer needs. And in that act, you've not just purified your entrance, you've completed an energetic cycle. You've taken what was stagnant, moved it with your hand, and returned it to nature, where all patterns dissolve and begin again. Now let's ask a deeper question. Why salt? Why not just water? Because water flows, but salt holds. Salt has crystalline memory. It doesn't just pass energy through, it locks onto it, it contains it, which is exactly what you want when you're dealing with buildup that isn't visible. Think of salt as a sponge for energy, not to be reused, not to be admired, but to be used once, with presence, and then retired with respect. This is not about superstition. It's about material intelligence. Earth gives us materials that serve more than function. They serve frequency. And when you treat those materials with care, they respond in kind. There's another layer to this practice that most people overlook, and it's timing. Don't wait for something to feel obviously wrong. That's reactive. The real beauty of this ritual is in using it proactively, once a month, on the first day of the lunar calendar, or even better, after something emotional has moved through the home. A breakup, a difficult conversation, a hard week at work. These moments leave residue, not on surfaces, but in the air, and your nervous system picks up on it long before your mind catches on. So when the air in your house starts to feel heavy, not because of temperature or smell, but because something just feels off, this is your cue, not to panic, not to fix, but to clear. And that's the difference between a clean space and a release space. A clean space looks good, a release space feels right. And the moment you step into it, you know there's more air in your lungs, more space between your thoughts, more softness in your shoulders. The shift may not be dramatic, but it's undeniable. Like waking up after a full night's rest you didn't know you needed. So now zoom out. If your entrance has been wiped, your mirror placed with clarity, your prosperity pouch gently activating quiet warmth, and your space freshly released with salt. What happens next? You begin to live inside a feedback loop that supports your next version, not your last mistake. You walk through a door that says, I'm no longer holding on to what drained me. I am ready for what aligns. And you didn't get there through force. You got there through salt, through a cloth, through presence, through something so ordinary most people would overlook it, but you didn't. And that's the shift. Because what you do for your space will do for you. If you release what it holds, it will release what you've been holding too. Not instantly, not always obviously, but surely and gently. And when that happens, your home stops being a backdrop and starts becoming a partner, a co-creator, a quiet witness to your readiness. And maybe that's all energy ever needed, a signal that you're no longer trying to control the mess, but willing to let go of what's already been absorbed and trust that something clearer is on the way. Section 5, the front door light ritual. Light doesn't just help you see, it helps energy find its way to you. And perhaps what your home has been missing isn't another object, not even another ritual, but a moment where light isn't used for visibility, but for alignment. The kind of light that doesn't just brighten a dark entryway, but quietly reminds your space that you are awake, that you are aware, and that you are available for better things. Because after all the clearing, the cleansing, the absorbing, and the reflection, there is still something profoundly human and necessary about illumination. Not just to remove shadows, but to signal readiness. And when paired with water, something sacred begins to form. One emits, one receives. One glows, one holds. Together, they create not just atmosphere, but invitation. A candle placed with clear intention at your front door is more than decor. It is a portal, a declaration, a soft signal to the unseen rhythms around you, that you are not just living in a space where you are actively shaping it. And that is what most people forget. We adjust the lights inside the house for function, brighter over the counter, dimmer in the bedroom. But rarely do we think about how light at the threshold of our home affects the energy trying to find its way in. We spend thousands on fixtures and ignore the flicker of a single flame that might do more for our energy than any switch ever could. Because a candle doesn't just brighten, it awakens. It bridges the last moment of the day with the first moment of intention. When lit at twilight, right when day turns into night, it doesn't just serve the eyes, it anchors the energy. It tells your home that you're still present, that transition is welcomed here, and that the shift from outer noise to inner peace is supported. And isn't that the moment when most energy becomes uncertain? That soft blur between the doing and the being, when the world slows but our minds still race, when the streetlights flicker on and your inbox is finally quiet, but your thoughts aren't. This is where the front door light ritual finds its purpose. It's not to chase away darkness, it's to create a rhythm. One that brings your home into sync with the natural shift in energy happening around you. So while your neighbors are closing their curtains, you are lighting a quiet signal that says, this home is in harmony. This home is available for peace. To begin, the materials are simple. One white candle and one clear glass of clean water. Nothing ornate, no symbolism needed, just clarity, just intention. White because it represents light, not decoration, but direction. Clear water because clarity doesn't come with color, it comes with presence. And the moment these two elements are placed near your front door, you've created something your space has likely never experienced before. A direct dialogue between the movement of energy and your personal stillness. The flame flickers outward, signaling frequency. The water holds silence, receiving it. And together they begin to retune what has been discordant. But this moment isn't meant to be busy. You don't need to chant, to pray, or to recite anything. You don't even need to set an intention out loud. Just be there, sit close. Let your breath match the tempo of the flame. Let your thoughts soften the way light does when it falls over a familiar room at the end of the day. Because this ritual doesn't ask for action, it asks for attention. And that's where its impact lives. In the slowing, in the listening, in the brief, beautiful decision to stay long enough to feel the space change. Now picture this. The flame dances gently in the evening air. The water reflects it. Just behind them is your door. And on the other side of that door are the unresolved thoughts, the noise you carried back from work, the tension that didn't fully leave your shoulders. And instead of pushing them away, this ritual meets them, not with resistance, but with stillness, as if to say, it's okay, we can make room for you too. And just like that, the energy begins to shift, not because the flame is magic, but because you became still enough for something new to happen. And that newness becomes embedded in your space, like muscle memory for the soul. But this is where many people miss the point. They light candles without context. They place them for ambiance, but they don't connect. They don't slow down. They don't let the energy arrive. And in doing so, they reduce light to decor. But real Feng Shui sees light as one of the most direct tools for adjusting frequency, especially when placed at the border of your home and the world, especially when timed with a natural shift in rhythm. That's why sunset is key, not because it's poetic, but because it's transitional. Energy is most malleable during transition. It doesn't respond to control, it responds to openness. And sunset is when energy turns its head, pauses and asks, where am I going to rest tonight? Now let's go deeper. What are you actually doing when you light that candle? You're not solving your problems. You're signaling that your home is no longer just a container for problems. You're not forcing outcomes. You're offering stillness so that clarity might arrive. And that's a shift worth anchoring every single day, even if only for 10 minutes, even if only in silence. When the ritual ends, blow out the flame. Pour the water not into the sink, but into the earth. A potted plant, a small patch of soil, not because the water is special, but because energy wants completion. You received energy, now return it. You observe transition, now honor it. That gesture, as quiet as it is, becomes the final note in a conversation with your space. And spaces remember when you speak to them with that kind of care. So here's the question that lingers long after the candle is cooled. If your home has never had a moment of intentional light at the door, how has it been welcoming you back each day? What tone has it been offering? What emotional rhythm has been meeting you before you even take your shoes off? And if that tone hasn't been soft, clear, and steady, then what patterns have been forming because of it? Because patterns don't wait for permission. They form from repetition. And the absence of presence is still a kind of presence. It's just a passive one. So when you light this candle, you interrupt the passive rhythm. You reclaim your entrance, not just for energy, but for alignment. You say, this home doesn't end at the front door. It begins there. And from now on, so do I. That's the heart of the front door light ritual. Not performance, not beauty, but the decision to create a pause at the edge of your life where something new can finally begin to enter. Gently, quietly, without needing to knock, because you already left the light on. And the space, now lit with clarity, has become an opening instead of an obstacle, a welcome instead of a wall. And that, just that, is how light begins to do what nothing else could. It finds you and shows you the way home. Section 6, the gold activation ritual. You don't manifest by force, you align by frequency. And maybe that's where most people unknowingly disconnect from the very abundance they say they're calling in. Because they push harder, visualize louder, repeat affirmations longer, but they never pause to ask, what frequency am I holding when no one's looking? What signal am I quietly sending when the vision board is tucked away and I'm simply walking through my home, making coffee, checking my phone, thinking about bills? Because in Feng Shui and in life, it's not what you declare out loud that speaks the loudest. It's what you reinforce in silence, through objects, symbols, placements. It's how your environment mirrors back the tone of your inner world. And there is perhaps no ritual more intimate and subtle than the gold activation ritual. Not because of what it contains, but because of how it reframes the very idea of worth, prosperity, and energetic partnership. This isn't a ritual about asking, it's a ritual about remembering. Not proving that you deserve more, but acting like someone who already believes it. Gold, in its purest energetic form, is not about currency, it's about clarity and healing. It's the color of wisdom, not wealth alone. The symbol of light that has moved through heat, through pressure, through transformation, and come out refined. So when you hold gold in this ritual, whether in the form of turmeric or coins, what you're holding isn't just color, it's frequency. And that frequency becomes the tone of your next cycle, if you know how to place it with meaning. Let's begin with the form. A clear glass jar, a small amount of pure turmeric powder, 3 gold-colored coins, a blank piece of white paper, and a pen you use only for this. None of these items are powerful on their own. They become powerful the moment you become intentional, because every item in this ritual represents a layer of your energy. The glass jar holds transparency. It reminds you that abundance must remain visible, not buried or hidden. Turmeric brings warmth and purification. It carries the hue of healing prosperity. Coins represent grounded action, visible, practical, tangible wealth. And the paper, that's where your voice gets planted. That's where your frequency becomes anchored. But before you write anything, ask yourself, what do I really believe is possible? Not what sounds good, but what truly sits inside my nervous system when no one is watching. Because if the words you write don't match the truth of your internal world, the jar won't respond. Not because it's magical, but because the energy field you're reinforcing will stay scattered. And this is why so many people get stuck. Not because they don't want better, but because deep down, they're still negotiating whether they're allowed to have it. So when you sit down to write your 3 affirmations, write from a version of yourself that isn't begging, hoping, or asking. Write from the version of you that knows, that has seen glimpses of alignment, that remembers what it felt like, even if only for a few days, to believe without resistance. And write not what you think you should say, but what your next season is actually built on. Money moves to me in natural rhythms. I no longer hold guilt for wanting ease. My space supports my abundance. Whatever the phrase, make sure it feels like home in your body, not just in your mind. Once your affirmations are complete, fold the paper once. Don't crumple, don't overfold. One soft fold, as if you're protecting a letter that will be delivered later, then place it at the bottom of the jar. Slowly sprinkle the turmeric over it. This is not a covering, it's a blanket, a symbolic warmth that says, I'm keeping this safe. I'm allowing this to root. Then, at your 3 coins, any currency, any denomination, as long as they carry that gold tone, and place them in the shape of a triangle on top of the turmeric. Why a triangle? Because it represents the sacred balance of giving, receiving, and holding. Most people focus only on what they can get, but a frequency that flows must also circulate. You receive because you have held space. You give because you trust the return. You save because you respect the flow. Now place both hands over the jar. No need to visualize a specific outcome. Just breathe. Feel what it would be like to no longer carry money as a weight, but as a rhythm. To feel support that isn't conditional, timing that doesn't feel rushed, opportunities that don't feel forced. Let your nervous system feel into that space, not just imagine it. And if you struggle to access the feeling, repeat your affirmations gently. Not to convince yourself, but to tune yourself, just like tuning a radio. You're not creating the music, you're finding the signal. Once the ritual is complete, place the jar in a location that has movement, a drawer you open daily, a hallway you pass through often, a shelf near your desk, because every glance, even unconscious, is a subtle act of reinforcement, a daily reminder that the version of you who placed this jar still exists, still holds belief, still trusts the process even if results haven't arrived yet. And here's the thing. This jar is not meant to be handled frequently. It is not a toy for your thoughts. It is a resting place for clarity, You don't need to open it, shake it, or show it. You simply need to respect the energy it holds. And once a week, on a quiet morning or a slow evening, place your hand over the jar. Just breathe. Reconnect. Not as an obligation, but as a gentle check-in. Not with the jar, but with yourself, because this ritual isn't teaching the universe who you are. It's reminding you who you've decided to be. And that's the real goal. The decision to align with trust, even before proof. The commitment to clarity, even before results. And that's why this ritual matters. Not because it guarantees anything, but because it centers you around something you often forget in the rush to become. That worth is not a reward for effort. It's a frequency you stabilize when your environment begins to reflect the future you're already claiming. And here's where the subtlety of this practice turns into strength. Most people don't struggle with desire. They struggle with doubt. They know what they want, but they don't know how to stay in alignment long enough to become the version of themselves who already has it. This jar, placed quietly, built intentionally, revisited weekly, becomes the anchor for that alignment. Not in a dramatic, transformational way, but in the same way you trust a clock to keep time or a thermostat to hold temperature. You stop thinking about it. You simply let it work in the background while you focus on showing up with presence. And if there's one thought worth sitting with at the end of this section, let it be this: what you build quietly often builds you back, and what you place with intention often holds you steady when everything else feels uncertain. The gold you activate in this ritual is not about attracting more. It's about revealing what was already ready to arrive once you decided you were ready to meet it. Not by chasing, not by forcing, but by aligning. And in that alignment, your frequency changes. And in that change, the world, gently, respectfully, begins to respond. Final, you're not just decorating, you're deciding. A front door isn't just wood and metal. It's the space between who you were and who you're becoming. And maybe without realizing it, you've been crossing that threshold every day, carrying not just your keys or your to-do list, but also the weight of old energy that no longer belongs to the life you're ready to step into. Because the truth is, most people don't consciously decide how their home should greet them. They let it default to whatever case, memory, or routine is left behind. And that quiet default is what slowly shapes their days, their mindsets, and eventually their outcomes. You're not just decorating, you're deciding what to let go of, what to reinforce, and what kind of future has room to unfold in your space. You've seen how each ritual isn't just an action, it's a language. Washing the entrance resets the energy field you forgot you were walking through. Placing the prosperity pouch plants a frequency that speaks gently to your space even when you're not thinking about wealth. Hanging the mirror correctly doesn't just change what you see, it doubles what you allow. Using salt doesn't just purify, it removes what never left emotionally. Lighting the candle at twilight isn't mood setting, it's time anchoring. And the gold jar, that's not magic, it's memory made visible. And yet the biggest mistake so many people make is assuming these shifts only work if you do all of them perfectly, consistently, without doubt. But energy doesn't ask for perfection. It only ever listens for sincerity. And if you have ever paused at your doorway and felt a hesitation you couldn't explain, a heaviness that had no words, or a numbness to the idea of prosperity altogether, know this: you're not alone. That's the emotional residue of spaces that haven't been asked to change in a long time. And most homes, just like most people, are not blocked because they're cursed or unlucky. They're blocked because no one ever cleared the old frequencies that came before. If you've ever stood in your living room and wondered why everything feels fine but not fulfilling, look again at the entrance, at the way your home begins. Because the beginning of your space is the beginning of your energy. And if the entrance still holds a version of you that feels rushed, uncertain, or unseen, then everything that follows will quietly echo that rhythm. You don't need to believe in rituals, but you do need to believe in patterns, because patterns don't form from intention alone. They form from repetition. And most homes are simply repeating what's been left there emotionally, energetically, unconsciously. That's why this work isn't about style. It's about signal. And the strongest signal your home can emit is one of clarity. Not because you've mastered Feng Shui, but because you've become present enough to stop ignoring the power of your own environment. So no, you don't need all 6 rituals. You don't need candles and pouches and coins all at once. You need one gesture, done well, done fully, done from a place of awareness. Because even a single point of sincerity, placed with care, can shift the frequency of a whole room, a whole pattern, even a whole season of your life. And if you've ever felt that life was almost flowing, but not quite landing, that you were almost ready, but something felt off, maybe this is the piece that was missing. Not a bigger effort, but a clearer signal. Because what if the thing you've been waiting for has simply been waiting for you to make space? Not space in your calendar or your bank account, but space at your threshold, space in your energy field, space in the doorway between the person you've been and the version of you that's ready to receive. And if that space has been quietly waiting all this time, maybe now is the moment to meet it, not with pressure, but with presence. Because energy doesn't just respond to effort, it responds to alignment. And your entrance is the first place to prove it.